Hey everyone, John here from TestPrepInsight.com, and today I'm going to be comparing Babbel and LingoPie, two extremely popular but very different language learning apps. Just as a quick note, since this is just a video and I'll just be covering the major highlights, if you want some more information about these language apps at any point, we also have tons of helpful reviews and comparisons over on our website. An easy way to get there is just to Google TestPrepInsight, LingoPie vs Babbel. It's the quickest way to get more info. Alright, so rather than providing a more general review and overview of each of these language apps, I have full review videos on each app linked down below. I'm instead going to focus on the main differences between these two and run down the key areas where I see each company winning and having an advantage over the other. So with that in mind, let's start with Babbel. I have them winning in 4 key areas. And the first is the fact that Babbel offers a clear-cut lesson plan and curriculum while LingoPie doesn't. And this is because Babbel is a traditional language learning app with a learning path, while LingoPie is a video-on-demand platform that teaches you a new language through binge-watching TV shows and movies. I'll get more into this approach in the LingoPie section here in a minute. But really, I think having a set lesson plan and curriculum is better for 2 reasons. First, a structured approach helps you progress through the language acquisition process systematically and prevents you from feeling overwhelmed. And second, I like that within a structured learning environment, there are clear objectives and goals for each lesson. This not only helps you maintain consistency in learning, but also helps you stay motivated as you work towards these goals. So bottom line here is that if you're the type of person who needs guidance and direction, then you'll likely prefer the organization of Babbel's language courses more than LingoPie's more free-flowing learning approach. Then, advantage number 2, and this relates back to my previous point, but I think Babbel is also the better choice for newcomers and beginners. And really, this boils down to 2 words: lesson progression. Babbel does a really good job of starting with 1 and 2 word building blocks and then working up from there. They bring you along slowly as a beginner and really focus on the fundamentals before advancing to longer sentences and then ultimately basic conversations. With LingoPie, on the other hand, you're sort of just thrown into the fire and expected to start picking up the language naturally by watching TV shows and movies. And that can lead to frustration at first because no one's there to hold your hand when the characters in the shows and movies start talking too quickly. It can just be a little overwhelming. So I'd say if you get frustrated easily or if you're a total newbie to the language that you're learning, then Babbel is likely the more ideal option for you. Okay, so next up, pro number 3 is that I really like the Babbel lesson format. And there are 2 major reasons why I note this as a positive. First, each lesson is short. The typical Babbel lesson only takes 10 to 15 minutes, which is super manageable. Not everyone has 60 minutes per day to dedicate towards language learning, so slow and steady progress in 10 or 15-minute chunks like this is a major advantage. Then second, the Babbel lessons are just plain fun. They move fast and mix in a bunch of different quick hit drills and exercises that touch on reading, writing, speaking, and listening. This includes fill in the blanks, matching pairs, pronunciation practice, matching pictures to phrases, conjugating verbs, quick grammar tips, and a bunch more. This diversity keeps the learning process fun and fast moving, so I have to give Babbel credit here. The lessons just sort of fly by. And lastly, I want to highlight Babbel's review sessions. Not only do I like that Babbel regularly prompts you to complete these review sessions so you can really hammer new vocab into your long-term memory, but I also like that Babbel gives you the choice of how you want to review, which is pretty unique. That way, if you feel like you're weak in a particular area, like speaking for example, that's pretty common, you can fine-tune your pronunciation. Okay, so that's Babbel. Now let's turn the tables and cover the major reasons to go with LingoPie to learn a new language. But actually first, before I dive right into that, I just want to quickly talk about the cost of these 2 apps because they're basically the same price and I can't really give one program the win over the other for being cheaper than the other or offering more value. The Babbel subscription options range from around $8 to $15 per month, and the LingoPie plans cost around $6 to $12 per month. So I guess technically LingoPie is the cheaper option by $1 or $2 per month, but really both apps are in the same general cost ballpark and honestly, they're pretty affordable overall within the world of language learning. Plus, both companies regularly offer sales and special promotions, so definitely make sure to look for coupon codes before buying. In fact, I'll do my best to keep that text down below the video screen updated with the most current coupon codes that I can find floating around out there, so make sure to check that out prior to purchasing and save yourself some money. But anyway, on to LingoPie's wins. And the first thing that jumps out to me with LingoPie is the way that they put a pretty unique and entertaining spin on language learning. So as I mentioned earlier, LingoPie is not your standard language learning app. Instead, think of LingoPie sort of like Netflix or Hulu, but for language learning. So how it works is that you basically just watch TV shows and movies to help you learn Spanish, French, German, or whatever your language is. And to be clear, I'm talking about real premium TV shows and movies that you would likely watch anyways, like Narcos or Money Heist. And as you watch a particular show or movie, there are subtitles in both English and the language you're learning, and a whole bunch of other features and tools to help you understand and learn what's being said by the various characters. Basically, the idea is that by combining binge watching, entertaining shows and movies with learning, it'll reduce the monotony and tediousness of learning a new language. And as a result, you'll likely stick with it longer than other apps since you're having a good time and enjoying yourself. In this respect, Lingopie definitely makes the language learning process a little less intimidating and more casual. Okay, so next up, and this might be obvious given the company's approach to learning, but Lingopie is the more ideal choice for visual learners. Simply put, if you absorb and process information best through visual means, then Lingopie is going to be your cup of tea given their video library. And for comparison purposes, the Babbel program does not incorporate any sort of video whatsoever. To be fair, Babbel does offer live classes, but they do cost extra. So again, if you consider yourself more of a visual learner, you're most likely going to want to choose Lingopie over Babbel. And last up here, I have to say that I was pretty impressed by all the different features and tools that Lingopie offers to assist in the learning process. So when I first signed up, I was just expecting to watch some TV shows and movies with subtitles, but there's definitely a lot more to the program than that. For one, if you click or hover over one of the words in the subtitles, Lingopie provides a detailed definition and analysis of the word or phrase. And what's also cool is that the company automatically generates an interactive video-based flashcard whenever you click on a word, which is great for recall and overall material retention. And beyond the flashcards, Lingopie also includes a loop setting that you can turn on so that the scene you just watched repeats itself until you understand what's happening. And you can also control the playback speed, which is especially helpful when you're just starting to learn. And then perhaps best of all, Lingopie does a really good job with grammar explanations. Not only do they color code subtitles to help you identify and learn the different grammatical elements of your target language, but they also include a really unique and helpful grammar coach feature. So if you ever need additional detail behind a word or phrase, you can just click on this little light bulb below the video screen, and along the right-hand column of the video screen, the company will provide you with a detailed explanation of the grammar rules at play in the sentence or phrase. It's honestly really cool. So long story short, I was just pleasantly surprised by the Lingopie learning tools. The company definitely goes above and beyond to ensure a useful learning experience. But anyway, that about does it for the detail in this comparison, so let's get to my final verdict. But before I get to that, I should just mention that every single month here at Test Prep Insight, we actually give away a free language learning course to one lucky person. I'll put all the details down below in the description on how to get entered, but just know that it takes like 10 seconds, and hey, you never know, you could win a totally free subscription to Lingopie or Babbel. Alright, so back to the verdict. Should you choose Lingopie or Babbel to learn a new language? Well, after testing each app, I don't know if I can definitively declare a winner here. The two companies and their learning methods are just so radically different that it makes it difficult. There are pros and cons of using each app. So here's what I would recommend. I actually think the two apps complement each other extremely well, so if I was in your shoes, I would sign up for one of Babbel's plans, which should cost you around $8 to $12 per month if you catch a sale, and then also sign up for the Lingopie annual plan for $6 per month. That way, for call it $15 per month, which is still cheaper than Pimsleur, by the way, you can use Babbel to build your foundational knowledge and understanding of your target language, and then supplement their lessons by taking advantage of Lingopie's video library and all of the extra tools and features that they provide. That way, you kind of get the best of both worlds, especially since Lingopie will start to become more and more valuable and useful as you transition from newcomer to beginner, and then from beginner to intermediate. But anyway, that's all I've got for you. I hope this video was helpful and you learned a little something. If so, please return the favor by subscribing to our channel, liking this video, and dropping me a quick comment below. That would be really appreciated. And again, if you want to see that full detailed written comparison of these two apps that I mentioned earlier in this video, just hop on over to our website. Again, that's testprepinsight.com, or you can check out the other videos we have on our YouTube channel. We've got a bunch of great content out there. But as always, thanks for watching, best of luck, and I'll see you in the next one.